Never fear, Cindersh is here, and today I have another video for you dealing with another plot device for Dragon Ball Z, and for Dragon Ball as a series. Now, unlike my storytelling and Dragon Ball plot devices with the Dragon Balls, I'm not going to go into all the ways senzu beans serve as a plot device. It's pretty simple. They're a means of healing and also a means of filling your stomach. The senzu beans, according to Korin, will fill you up for 10 days. They will heal just about any physical wound. They wouldn't heal Goku of his heart virus, but they'll heal just about any physical wound that is recent. And you almost are left wondering, so we've got the Dragon Balls. Why do we need senzu beans? Well, the senzu bean gives you an immediate fix for injuries, where they would try to reserve the Dragon Balls, especially early on, for reviving the dead. And even later in Z, the Dragon Balls were for revivals, for recreating the Earth, all the more difficult things. And of course, they got used for a few other things as well. The Dragon Balls were more versatile, but the senzu bean gave you an easy, simple fix for injuries, speeding up recovering time from injuries, and on a few occasions simply to fill Goku's or Yajirobe's or someone else's stomach. Now, we're first introduced to the Dragon Balls during the Red Ribbon Army saga. Goku is defeated by Mercenary Tao Pai Pai, whichever way you want to call him. Of course, Tao leaves thinking he's killed Goku, but he hit the Dragon Ball, and I talked about that in my other video. So Goku's alive, but he has been defeated. And he's weakened, he's hungry, he's tired. And so Korin feeds him a senzu bean. And this is when we're first introduced to senzu beans. So senzu bean feeds him, fills him up, gives him his energy, and he's able to be full for the whole time he's training with Korin. The next time we get the senzu beans, Goku is now been defeated again, this time by Demon King Piccolo, and Yajirobe carries him up the tower, and Korin give him a senzu bean. And then Goku tells Yajirobe, "This is the dinner I promised you. This thing will fill you up." And of course, Yajirobe eats more than one of them. He eats quite a few. He overate, because he didn't know he only needed to eat one. So we get the senzu beans there. And we get to see between these two scenes that Korin has a big jar of senzu beans. He has this massive jar. It's got to have hundreds, maybe even thousands of beans in it. And yet when we get to Dragon Ball Z, it seems almost like Korin is stingy giving out beans. Now, that's not really necessarily true, because you go and look at the Android and Cell saga, and within that span of time, the Z Fighters eat 18, 19 beans. So, that's a pretty good amount for them to use, but I think they were given all of them up front. They may have had 8 or 9 up front. By the time they fought Jiro in 19, and they've had their first face-off with 17 and 18, by the time all that has gone by, they've eaten 7 beans. And then between trying to chase Cell around, stop Cell from absorbing people and all that, to the end of the Cell games, that's another 11. So you add those up, you've got about 18. You've got 18 beans. But you go to Saiyan Saga, and there are no beans eaten before or after the fight with Raditz. And going into the fight with Nappa and Vegeta, Goku eats a bean to re-energize after traveling all of Snake Way, so he's at full capacity when he goes to fight. And then he splits a bean between Krillin and Gohan, the only two left alive. So that's 2 beans in the Saiyan Saga. And in the Buu Saga, we only know of, I believe, 2 beans being eaten. Videl gets one after she's been hospitalized by Spopovich. And Majin Vegeta eats one after he knocks out Goku, so he has full energy to face Majin Buu. So that's 4, and the 18 is 22. And then in the Frieza Saga, we've got 6 or 7 senzu beans being eaten. There's a little bit of room for error here. Goku gets one at the beginning when he's in the hospital. Yajirobe comes and brings him. He eats one and he's healed. He eats 2 or 3 during his trip there while he's training. He gives 1 to Vegeta, 1 to Gohan, 1 to Krillin. And then that's it. So at most, they've eaten 30 beans. And yet they do make it seem like, Yajirobe is stingy with the beans. He has to be stingy with the beans because they grow so slowly. So what happened to that big old jar of beans he had on the back half of Dragon Ball? I mean, we know they were all given a couple of beans going into the 23rd tournament. Corn had given all of them a couple of beans there. But I mean, in total, you look at both series, they've eaten no more than 40 beans. And that jar of Krillin held a whole lot more than 40 beans. So why did they get so few? Even if you want to say in the Cell Saga, 18 seems like a lot. That's the way it's made to feel like that was a lot being used during that time. And we don't really get a good answer as to why it seems like, yeah, I've only got 6 to give you here, and I've only got 7 to give you here. But you've got Yajirobe lives on Korin's tower with Korin now. And this isn't really a theory video, but Korin eats the beans. I mean, we know that's kind of what Korin eats usually. It's the beans. He may occasionally eat something else, but most of the time, he lives on the beans too. At least that's what my interpretation is. He lives off those beans. Now you figure 10 days, 1 bean, you're looking at 36, 37 beans a year. The one he'd eat 37, the next one he'd eat 36. But now you've got 2 people living there. But of course, Yajirobe is also a hunter and a fisherman. That's the way he was raised. That's what he was. So he could go down Korin Tower and do hunting and fishing there in the land of Korin and give them food sometimes that way also, which I hope he would do. But, so even if you cut them down to 30 beans a year each, that's 60 beans a year. So they will be eating them faster than when it was just Korin living on Korin's tower. And that would play some factor in the fact that the beans are not as plentiful as they seem to be in Dragon Ball. I mean, you look 5 years between the end of Dragon Ball, beginning of Dragon Ball Z. 5 years times 60 beans, that's 300 beans. You'd spend 4 years from the arrival of Raditz to going off to Namek, returning to Earth, training for the androids. It's another 4 years. So you're looking at another 240. You can see how that's starting to add up now. So the fact that there's less beans for everyone to use, you can probably blame Yajirobe for that. I mean, the show never explains that. And, you have to kind of infer that's what's going to happen. That's what's happening. And maybe that's not what's happening, but that seems to be the case to me. Because Yajirobe is at fault for there being so many beans for Korin to give out to everybody. Although he does manage to give out a decent amount during the Cell Saga. I mean, like I said, it's still, when you look at the thousands he had, 18 seems like nothing, or 20 seems like nothing, but it's a lot more than the 6 and 7 he was tossing out before. So that's my video. Let me know what you think. Feel free to comment. Feel free to share this video. And if you have not done so, please subscribe to my channel. This has been Super Saiyan 7 Cinders, and I'll be back with more content in the near future. Thank you for watching. Just a disclaimer that anytime I use a picture, or if I do use video footage from any of the anime, I do not own the content. The content is, of course, the creation of Akira Toriyama, and the rights either go to Toei Animation, Funimation Entertainment, or Viz Media. So please support them, as it is their content.